everyone. My name is Iman.
And I'm Amal.
And welcome back to another episode of Weird and Wonderful. This week is an interesting week because we actually opened up the floor to you guys. So we gave you the opportunity to send in some questions, concerns, stories, whatever you want. And we are here today to answer them.
Yeah.
We got quite a lot.
Yeah.
And we sifted through some of them. Some of them were quite similar because I think, a lot of people have the same sort of questions and the same sort of feelings. So we've actually narrowed it down. So we're just going to go right into them.
Before we start, though, we'd like to put a little disclaimer out there that we are in no way professionals in anything.
Yes.
And we are purely answering your questions based on our own experiences, our own opinions, and our own thoughts, and also based on the context that you have put your question in. So if you do need any professional help or something, please go and seek it, because me and Iman, we're not it.
No,
we're
far
just
from.
Far from. So yeah, because we just opened up a forum and you guys send your questions, and yeah, we're just here to answer them. Hopefully
it can give you some perspective, but know that whatever we say is not like the hard and fast rule.
Yes.
Far from.
So please keep that in mind as we go through this episode. Yeah. Again, we are not professionals. All right.
3 times you said it. That means it's true.
We're safe now.
Okay, legally we're safe now. So this is purely based on our own perspectives, and I hope you guys can understand that. And yeah, here we go. Okay, question number 1. What do you do when your family puts pressure on you to get married?
So here's the thing. Alhamdulillah, me and Iman are from a family, our parents have never, ever put pressure on us to get married. Do you think?
At all?
At all. Pressure.
In general.
Yeah, in general. They've never put pressure on us for that. And we don't have any aunts or whatever who put pressure on us about getting married.
No, and I think also because I got married pretty early. I got married at 25.
Yeah, and you found somebody on your own. It was clear that you were going in that direction when you met your husband and whatnot. Yeah, so for me, honestly, if I died an old maid, I feel like my parents wouldn't mind either. No. It's not something. If anything, they would be concerned for me. They'd be like, "Are you sure you're okay? You're gonna be okay being without married. A spouse and without children?" But if I say guys, this is what I want, they'll be like, yeah, fine.
But I do understand as well, there are families that for them getting married is important. For our family, it's not to say it's not a priority, but they're okay with whatever we decide to do.
Correct.
But I do understand that there are families out there that want their children to be married, for the parents to have grandchildren and whatnot. And I guess when you're at that point, we had a really good episode last season where we had our friend Safia on, where we talked about contentment, and a huge chunk of it was talking about what to do when someone is pressuring you to get married, either society, your family, or whatever. So if you want a more detailed conversation, I think that you should watch the episode. We'll include the link down below. But just for now, I would say to always just ask people who put that pressure on you to make dua for you, which is a great thing that I learned from Safia, is that sometimes you don't have to rebut. Sometimes you don't have to have an argument. You don't have to have a full-on conversation. Sometimes the easiest thing is simply just to smile and say, make dua for me, inshallah. That's how I would answer that question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Safia. Still helping us out even in season 2. Okay, the next question. Assalamualaikum. I have a crush on someone for quite some time. We know each other, but we're not exactly friends. Should I make a move? I'm kind of scared to do anything because I don't want to look desperate.
Oh, and she says she's a girl,
She's
right?
a girl, she's a girl.
Right. Yeah, there's always this concern.
I'm just assuming these are all girls.
All our viewers are girls.
No. I know there's some men out there. Hello.
Yeah, this is a big concern for a lot of girls. The fear of looking desperate. But who's to say that guys have to make the first move all the time, right? Is that?
I also think, I'm assuming that most of us in this demographic, we are ready to settle down. It's not just to find a boyfriend, just to mine. I feel like that was in the past, high school, maybe early college. But now I guess when you're starting to work, you are looking for the partner that you're going to settle down with. And what is the payoff is finding someone to spend the rest of your life with. What is the off chance of looking desperate? I feel like that's such a small
it's a small concern.
Yeah,
it's definitely a concern. I don't invalidate that concern, but at the same time, maybe you can concentrate on other things. If you really think that he is somebody that you can potentially settle down with, why not?
And I say risk it for the biscuit. Like, okay, like girls, like I know many of you know that I was the one that made the first move with my husband, in the sense of telling him that I liked him, because I'm generally just a very like straight to it person. I don't like messing around, and I told him I liked him, and alhamdulillah, for me it did not look desperate, it worked out. But I do understand the fear of, you know, typing out this message to this guy and sending it and just be like, oh my god, is he gonna reply, is he gonna think I'm weird? Like, I understand that feeling, but think about the bigger picture, and if it's going to work out, mashallah, alhamdulillah. If it doesn't work out, then he's just a guy who thinks you're desperate. We'll move on.
Yeah. And you know, if he thinks you're desperate, he doesn't like you for it, then you probably don't want to be with him anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
If he's the right guy, inshallah, and you text him that, he'll be like, oh wow, she like is interested. And guys are clueless.
Yeah,
you know, guys are clueless,
dumb.
and sometimes
I'm so sorry.
and sometimes you just have to make it really obvious to them, and after you tell them, they'll probably be like, oh my goodness, yeah, I like her too. So
yeah,
hopefully, inshallah, it plays out.
And then marriage.
Yeah, there you go. Hopefully it plays out that way for you. Okay. I'm facing a problem where basically I think I've already cleared up my mind and tried not to remember any of the wrongdoings that people have done towards me. But sometimes when I'm all alone, all I can do is think about it over and over again until I can't sleep. Is it because I didn't have any closure of the things that people have done to me? And how can I apologize them for what they've done? Thank you so much for your time. Wow. Okay.
That's a heavy one. I think that's something that a lot of people go through. You think that you're over something, but then you start thinking about it over and over and over again, and then it affects you, and you're like, oh, am I not over it? The thing is, not to say you're never gonna be over, because for me, things have happened to me before, and like I've already closed it. Like in my head, I'm just like, yeah, I'm over it. I've forgiven that person, or you know, we're done, or like whatever it is. And I'm at peace with it. But then I find that it still pops into my head over and over again. And from time to time, I'm like not doing anything. Suddenly, like I'm thinking about it. Like I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, so do I.
And yeah, I think about it. I'm like, am I still mad at that person? Did I not forgive that person? And the question, to be honest, I don't know how to answer that, because I go through it and I just write it out. Basically, I just have to sit there. I'll think about it until I've exhausted it, and then carry on.
Yeah.
But then with the knowledge, with knowing that it's gonna happen again.
Yeah. And the thing is, when things like this happen to us, I don't know what exactly happened to you, but I'm assuming that maybe it's a friendship breakup or something happened with you and acquaintances, close friends, whatever. It's not something you can forget just like that. You know, people always say you forgive and you forget. But forgetting is really hard, and I don't think you necessarily will forget things. You forgive, yes. You know, we should always try to forgive so that we're able to move on. But in terms of moving on, those remnants will still be in your mind.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm driving and I'm like having a great day, and suddenly something just pops into my mind that reminds me of, you know, A, B, or C. And sometimes it gets me down, and I'm thinking about it and like, oh, you know, could I have done things differently? Should I reach out to that person? Blah, blah, blah. But you know what? That chapter has closed, and there's nothing that you can do about it now. And if it's affecting your sleep, it's affecting your mental health, if it's affecting your day to day, then you need to maybe just take a step back and tell yourself, is all of this worth it? You know, it's not affecting that person anymore. It's only affecting me, and I only have control over myself. So I need to let this go as much as I can. But know that at some point it will come back again. The cycle will happen again. But, you know, it gets easier as time goes by.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah, so just hang in there.
Hang in there.
It's going to be okay.
Hugs.
Pat, pat.
Okay. Is there such thing as the one? The one, capital T, capital O. Because you think you found the one until things go haywire, and then you realize, maybe not.
So I believe in jodoh, but then the whole concept of the one perfect guy for me who's always going to sweep me off my feet, put roses on my bed every night. Okay, that does not exist. Okay, girls, you can't expect that from a guy with, you know, just from a guy. You just can't, because you know what? If you go in with that mentality, you are always going to be disappointed. Am I right?
Yeah.
She's married. I'm not. So, and I'm just like psyching myself up now.
Hold on. But if you are the one guy, whoever's watching, if you are the one exclusion that does put roses on your wife's bed and writes her nice notes and knows what she's thinking, good for you.
I'd like to meet you.
But he's married.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to meet you. So yeah, I just think that when you meet somebody and he matches the criteria, like your values and whatnot, the things that you feel important for a good relationship, because it's never going to be perfect.
In terms of the one, for me, inshallah, I think my husband is the one for me. You know, we match in many ways, but is he 100% we are compatible? No. You know, and you're never, in my opinion, you're never going to find the perfect someone. It's just whoever fits you the best.
And then you just work on it from there.
You gotta make do. Because I also feel like a lot of the relationship or a lot of becoming the one, there's never the one that you find. That person becomes the one over time is what I'm trying to say. You know, like Ashraf and I, perhaps when we met, we were maybe like 65% compatible, but then as we got married and as we built our relationship and we got to know each other more, slowly we are becoming even more compatible.
It's just like friends. Over time you learn about your friend, and you learn what they like and what they don't like. It's the same thing, but like on a deeper level, because it's a partnership. So in terms of finding the one, you know, if you find a cute guy who you think is attractive, he thinks you're attractive, you guys kind of like the similar kind of things, then go for it. But is it impertinent to say that he's the one before you guys get married? I don't know. Who's to say? Do istihara. Inshallah. You know? 3 nights. 3 nights. Okay, not 2. 3 nights. Is it unhealthy to only have your partner to spend time with and no one else? There are a lot of things I see like online or just like acquaintances or whatnot where they are in a group of friends and then one person gets a girlfriend and then the others are just like, oh, ever since you got a girlfriend, like we never see him anymore. Like, you know, like I feel like that's a very, very common problem that or a situation that arises. And to answer that question specifically, it depends. Like it just really depends. Like if they are married, because okay, let's pretend this person is married. Okay. If you guys are cool with each other and you actually do genuinely enjoy spending time with each other all the time, then there's no harm. There's no problem. I don't know. But then, you know, if you feel like you need some time away with your friends, that's also no problem. What would you say as a married person? As a married person, for me, I need my own space. I don't think it's healthy for me and Ashraf to be cooped up in the same house for 7 days just with each other. We need our space. We need to see other people. And I think sometimes, again, this works for some couples, for some it doesn't. Some couples need to be with each other all the time because they are just each other's life force. This is where they get the drive and the passion to live every day, is with their partner. Great for you. Some people love their partner, swell guy, but I need to have my space to see other people. I need my girlfriends, I need my parents, I need my sister, I need whoever. So that you can learn to appreciate him every day. There you go. Distance makes the heart grow fonder. So it really depends, like whether it's healthy or not. It's really up to the two people. Up to the two people, up to the circumstances. We are only giving you our perspective because we don't have your circumstance in mind. So when we say it depends, it really depends. Someone wrote in here, she said, please don't say it depends. Give me a proper answer. Sorry, girl, it depends. Okay, firstly, she writes this really nice note about how much she loves our podcast. Thank you so much. My relationship issue to ask for your advice is how to let your partner know that you actually need your own me time as well. I mean, he's that kind of clingy man, always wants to check in on me, seeing if I'm doing good, always wants to talk to me. Even if I don't contact him that one day, he would say that I no longer love him, yada, yada, yada. I know he's just being caring and concerned about me, but sometimes I do get irritated. Wow, okay, so this is the guy being clingy. Right. I have heard of guys being clingy. Oh, yeah. More so than girls. Yeah. It's never happened to me. I'm the clingy one. See, when I think of like a guy,
okay, I think of someone who's like really macho, really strong.
So
and
look
like,
at the stereotypical
guy that the girl is like, oh, love me, need me.
So you have a very traditional view of a guy and a girl in your head.
I do. So for me, when I see a guy who is always like, hey, how are you? Like, okay, not hey, how are you? Because I'm assuming you're married. You know how they are. But like, always want to check up on you all the time. I feel rimas.
Right, like this girl.
Like this girl, and I mean, to be honest, if we look at me and Ashraf me your texts, it's like, what time are you coming home? Or we hardly text, or we're like, what's for dinner? Like, our texts are like non-existent.
Yeah, because we live
together and we talk to each other all the time. And I feel like if we were texting each other as a married couple now, I would feel very like, can we just like talk about it when we get home?
Yeah.
Like, why do we have to do things through text? Why do you have to check? Like, I don't mind a phone call during the day, just be like, hey, how are you? Like, how's Baba? Whatever. But yeah, I mean, maybe just have an honest conversation with him. Just tell him, you know what, honey, babe, baby, whatever, sayang, I tak boleh tahan.
Okay, maybe not.
Maybe not like that.
Put it nicer. Just say like, I really appreciate you always wanting to check in on me, and I love that about you. If you do, but sometimes I just like, we live together. I will see you later at home. Like, if you want me to let you know I'm still alive at 12 p.m. at work, I will send you an emoji, you know, to say like, yeah, I'm okay. But then like, do we really have to do this whole, hi, how are you? I miss you at work.
And maybe ask him as well, why is it that he needs to always know where you are or how you are?
Or maybe like, you have to tell him that you really, really do love him. It doesn't matter whether you text him or not. Like, maybe because like, what did she say? She said,
yeah, that she's irritated.
No, not that she's irritated. She said like, he thinks that he doesn't love her.
Yes.
He thinks that she doesn't love him if she doesn't text him back. Like, tell him like, I really do love you. We don't need this for further affirmation. I'm letting you know now. I really do love you, but you don't need to text me all the time.
Something I learned that I think we could all use in this kind of situation is it's called it's called a compliment sandwich.
Okay.
So you start off by saying something really good, like, you know, I appreciate that you always check on me. That's something I love about you.
Is that an actual term?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never heard.
I don't know if it's compliment sandwich, but you get what I mean.
So you start with a compliment.
Start with a good thing, and then you go for the meat, which is the concern.
And
so you're saying, this is how I feel about this. Maybe we can change it up, whatever. And then again, you end it. But again, you know, I love this about you, and I'm feeling so secure in our relationship, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Compliment sandwich. Thank you. New thing learned today.
Okay. Do we have to tell everything to our best friend? I hide some things from my best friend. Is it wrong?
Again, it depends. It depends on the level of your friendship.
No. For me, this is not it depends.
No?
For me, this is do whatever you want.
Oh,
your best friend does not own you. Your best friend is just your best friend.
That is true.
Some people say, oh, you know, this person is an extension of me. Sure. But you are also your own person. Mm-hmm. You can tell your friend whatever you want or hide whatever you want, as long as it does not break any trust. If you feel like this information she needs to know because of, you know, whatever circumstances, or if this is like integral to your friendship,
then tell her.
If you want to tell her, you tell her. If you think that this is going to break your friendship, then maybe think about it. And then it's up to you if you want to tell her or not.
Yeah.
That's
my opinion. Actually, you're right. Now that you think about it. Because your best friend is, not say just a friend, but like you said, you are your own person.
Yeah, and I know that these days everyone like kind of like glorifies this whole like best friend position. Mm-hmm. But you know what? At the end of the day, which I realize I say a lot at the end of the day, you are your own best friend. As cheesy as that is, you're only responsible for yourself.
Baba is my best friend.
Baba is your best friend. Okay, sure. Okay, never mind. We'll talk about that later. And you have to look out for yourself. Yeah. Is what I'm trying to say.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Be your own best friend. There you go. That's my answer to that. Okay.
Like Lizzo says, I'm my own soulmate. No?
Is it? Okay. No, I don't listen to Lizzo.
Oh,
we'll
sorry.
listen to it in the car. Okay. This girl writes, Assalamualaikum. Waalaikumsalam. My husband is a nice and caring person and almost never neglects his responsibilities as a husband, alhamdulillah. However, sometimes I feel that he can be quite hard. For instance, when we argue and I cry, he would almost never be affected, be sad, or try to empathize with what I'm feeling, regardless of whose fault it is. He never seems to apologize, and even more so, he doesn't think it's his fault. I'm okay with it if I was the one who caused the fight, but sometimes I wish he would just apologize for something he said during the fight, or just show a little bit more showing a little bit more affection instead of letting me cry so much. This really frustrates me, and sometimes it brings out the worst in me. How do I deal or hopefully help him realize that what he's doing isn't right? Any reverse psychology tricks? Lol. I've tried talking to him, and usually his response would be, this fight wouldn't happen if you didn't XXX.
I feel like this is a loaded one for you specifically.
So girl, I totally feel you. As someone who's been married for 4 years, which actually in hindsight isn't that long, I've come to find that my husband is also similar in that situation sometimes. I think it's because maybe our husbands are similar in the sense that they're very logical people. I guess as women, sometimes we tend to think with our emotions a little bit, and you know, something goes wrong.
We're just softer.
You know, we're in touch with our feelings. And I guess with Ashraf, he's extremely logical. It's like, okay, you
ABC, so XYZ.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, you cut yourself with a Band-Aid. You cut yourself, here, have a Band-Aid. As opposed to me, it's like, oh my God, I cut myself. Look at all the blood. Kiss it for me. Wipe it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and when I cry, I want him to make a big deal out of it.
But
when he doesn't, it hurts me.
Yeah.
And I understand. And I have been in that position as well, when you're frustrated and you cry and it's like, are you done? Do you need a tissue? No, I'm not saying my husband does that, but that's how I feel sometimes when he doesn't
pujok you lah.
When you doesn't manja lah.
We all want to be pujoked and manjed. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Because I'm not married yet. But I feel like I would probably want that, you know, at certain points in time.
And I guess what I did with Ashraf, with my husband, is I just told him, I said, you know, when I cry or when I need attention, you just need to give it to me. And I'm sorry I'm not as logical or as unfeeling as you are. I get it, that's who you are, but this is who I am. And sometimes I give in to you, to your logicness, to your logic, and brush aside my feelings. But sometimes I need you to give in to me as your wife, as your partner, to do this for me. I understand as women we are softer. We tend to just be like, okay, you know what, I'll just do whatever you want. But sometimes we're going to stand our ground, because we always say that marriage is like 50-50. We're in this together. As much as you give in to him, sometimes he has to also give in to you. Again, that's just my perspective. That's how I go about it. And there's no reverse psychology tricks. I think tricks don't pan out in the long term for a marriage that will last. I think honest communication, and I think with your partner you are able to have honest communication.
Yeah.
You should be able to have honest communication. Just tell him how you're feeling. Show him this video. Tell him this is what Iman said, okay? Hi bang, sorry Kay, I don't mean anything. I'm just like trying to communicate with you as best I can.
Well, actually, I read something online. I cannot remember where I found it, where I came across it, but like it's the 80-20 rule.
Okay.
They say, like you said, marriage is 50-50, but not always. Sometimes it's 80-20, sometimes it's 90-10. So on the days where you can only give 10, your partner has to come and give you that 90.
I agree.
You know, so like the whole crying thing, like some days you're like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna be logical, I'm gonna hide my feelings. So that's the day where you're 80 and he's 20.
Right.
But then like, abang, sometimes you have to give the 80. So okay.
So if you guys have any more questions, concerns, comments, stories that you'd like to share with us, please comment them down below in the comment section. We'd be very, very grateful.
And thanks for watching.
And
we'll
listening.
catch you next time.
Assalamualaikum.